Heyo everyone, this is the HappyAnimaidCafeManager here with another walkthrough episode for the game Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Alright, so I'm in the 5-minute recess, December 27th, 10:28 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Phew, that was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Mr. Ed. Like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. Yeah, right, Edgeworth. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night. Yes? He said he went looking for the steel samurai balloon that flew into the lake. Oh, right. And he found a balloon in the air tank that night. Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth. Huh? You say something right? Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. Then I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me. I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. I see. Mr. Wright, yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's the secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has let someone he hasn't even talked to testify before the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right? That's right, Nick. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll milk this wine for all it's worth. Hey, it was 15 minutes. 15! Everything depends on Larry now. December 27th, 10:35 a.m. District Courtroom number 3. The court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything you saw on the night of December 24th. Right. Leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. That night, I was out in the boat on the lake. I was looking for something and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. Then just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't notice the boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony, even for this court. In any matter, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? There was so many things wrong, I don't know where to begin. Well, okay, first of all, what time was it? Oh, it was after 11 when I went out in the boat. By that time, everyone had gone home for the night, so I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak. And why were you out on the ball in such a late hour? I was looking for something and I found it. Looking for something? Or yeah, Mr. Butts. Well, what was it you were looking for? What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. You know, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if it was the truth. If that was the truth. This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with. So I quietly slipped the boat back at the rental shop. Around what time was that? Let's see. I figured I was out searching for about an hour. I guess it was around midnight. Yeah. You're not sure. Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? People use watches these days, Larry. Then just I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. Where did that sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know. Did you look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't notice the boat. Wasn't there a boat on the lake? Order! Order! Well, Mr. Butts? Whoa! Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case! Huh. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. So you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick, that was pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should just start working on the contradiction. Sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. Found it, so I finally slipped back into his boat in the rental shop. Then just I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. Looked out over the lake, but I didn't notice the boat. Shows an empty lake taken automatically on 12/24 at 11:50 p.m. Didn't notice the boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. I find a contradiction here. I mean, damn, I can't remember which one to present. Murder weapon fired 3 times vertical. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow. It clearly contradicts the I thought. You don't sound very convinced, Mr. Wright. Objection overruled. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. After that single gunshot, I went home. Time of death on the approximately 24th or 25th, shot approximately 1 meter away. Lost it, heard 2 gunshots. There we go. The disposition is what I should have presented in the first place. Well, wait a second, Larry. Well, what? You only heard 1 bang. You're sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lawhart testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please. Huh? You know something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? Mr. Butt, what? You only heard 1 gunshot. Are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Not sure? How could you not be sure? Well, well, I might have missed a 100 gunshots. I was listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude, on my headphones. What? Order, and stop that booing. Mr. Butt, you were listening to the radio on earphones? Yeah, so what? Is that a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal? Mr. Von Karma, your opinion? Waste of time. I do not accept this witness nor his shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue his testimony? Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Bush. Please give your testimony. Be sure to include details like your radio. Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me. What Larry heard. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like. But I'm sure I heard the gunshots. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume. Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't the man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness said? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. True enough, and it is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me, DJ? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is he heard a sound no music was playing. The DJ only talks in between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud like. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. What did he say? Mr. Wright, please cease this pointless question. What possible good could the knowing what a radio DJ said to us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I will allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask him, Fine, very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when he said, hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard the gunshot. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this real sexy voice. Maybe Von Karma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us at all. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there is one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. So you turned on the radio. Right. I just wanted to hear someone's voice, you know? You don't know what it's like out there alone on Christmas Eve. Alone! I shouldn't have said anything. That's why I was listening to an all-request radio show. Do you have by any chance remember the name of the program you were listening to? This has nothing to do with the case, Your Honor. Objection sustained. The witness was listening to the radio. That is all we need to know. Tell us, Mr. Bubb, but how loud was your radio set to that night? I was listening to it real booming loud like. Real booming loud? Yeah, you know. And you had headphones on. Yup. I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all. Well, I'm sure I heard that gunshot. Can you prove that? No, of course you can't. No, I can't prove it, but I remember the moment real clear. I mean, while I was talking about it, it came back real clear to me, you know. I remember what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. Just when she said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard a gunshot. Hey, it's almost Christmas. Let's see, taking on that. Heard 2 gunshots just after midnight. Yeah, the disposition again. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with that face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what that witness just said? The DJ said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard that gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes? But that contradicts the 2 testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shot. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order! What does this mean? The 2 prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight? However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butt's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard the gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence that there was a gunshot before midnight. The second lake photo shows an empty lake taken automatically on December 24th at 11:50 p.m. Take that! Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Law Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh yeah. But there's nothing on the lake in this picture, Your Honor. The real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. The camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Correct. Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That's why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that is the case. Then, where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is the fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots within a 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises, yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why the witness could have sneezed triggering the camera? Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any. The murder weapon, 22 caliber fired 3 times. Bears prints from Edgeworth's right hand. This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When then was this last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. The 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering what exactly did happen on that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, where were the 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes? One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? Oh, I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes? Ah! Well, what's wrong, Nick? I have it. Huh? Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya, yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch and I'm going to run with it. Right. I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick? Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? Tisk, tisk, tisk. So you finally realize the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man who was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the fact. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. That was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant Edgeworth and the victim Robert Hammond were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on the boat. I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the crime of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 00:15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain, who is sitting on the boat? Edgeworth and the murderer. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all of this. Ludicrous! Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name, Wright. It's Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah! Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the bookshop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the bookshop? Where did he do this? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not in the boat? What? Well, then where did the murder take place? Show the judge where the murder really took place. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he can meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have any proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned the boat? The boat shop! Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then, who fired a pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? The boat shop caretaker. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes. Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. You know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol on the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had to shoot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that everything else falls into place, the boat shop caretaker slammed back to his shop. Then he put on Robert Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Well, thanks for watching. Until next time, to be continued, baby.